Dr. Mark Blegen, and thank you for attending the 2011 St. Catherine University Soccer Camp. I'm going to be talking to you about some questions related to performance, nutrition, overtraining, and things like that. I think exercise science benefits sports because there are a lot of myths and a lot of things that are done in terms of training for performance that people do over and over. They've been carried over for a long time and they haven't been questioned. So I think exercise science brings the research and brings the science to performance and says, hey, this is going to work, this isn't going to work, and here's why. It actually gives people a reason to do what they do and provides them with consistent and proven results. So I think it just ups the level of the training. It gives a lot, exercise science I think gives a lot more specific information about an individual person, and maybe that's another big part too, that exercise science has brought the ability to train this individual in the way that they need to be trained. Soccer is one of those unique sports where it crosses a whole bunch of different energy systems and things like that. So there are short tests that we can measure for power because that would be important in soccer. A vertical jump would be easy to do. The Wildcat test gives us an idea of power and things like that, which is a 30-second bike test. There are longer tests. We can look at aerobic capacity, although that's probably not the most relevant to soccer. But there are established protocols that look at 45 minutes, a 45-minute test or a 90-minute test that simulates a soccer game. And so they have you run at different intensities on a soccer field, shoot at different goals at different times so they can look at how fatigue is influencing you. So there's a lot of different things you can do, but soccer is one of those unique sports, and depending on which position you play, some of those assessments might be more applicable to a position versus another. I think it goes back to what we talked about, what exercise science can bring to the table for a soccer player. Rather than just giving an average, here's what your typical soccer player should be doing. If we've got specific results on an individual, we know your specific position, we know where you stand today, we can design a very specific program for that individual, for that position, to get that person to their peak ability. Having all the precise information in terms of what we do in the lab or on the field just allows us to create a more specialized training program for that individual. Overtraining is a condition where you've most likely participated in one specific aspect of a training program or one event too long, but more likely too hard. So the intensity hasn't been monitored appropriately. Overtraining would result in mood disturbances. It would result in not sleeping very well. And with further training, you would actually see your performance decline, not increase. And so it's physiological, it's psychological, and it's just your body saying, we've done too much, too quickly, too hard. And so something we definitely want to avoid. Periodization is a term that's classically used in strength training, but we can also apply it to aerobic training, running, a soccer season and things like that. Where if we look in the strength training realm, classical periodization would say there's three different phases. Hypertrophy, which means we're going to get the muscle a little bit bigger. Strength, which means we're just going to make you stronger. And then power, we're just going to develop your power. And periodization would say we're going to spend 6 or 8 weeks doing this, then we're going to spend 6 or 8 weeks doing that, and then 6 or 8 weeks doing this. Cycled in terms of how hard, how much, so that come the season, you're in your peak performance. Non-linear just means we're doing different things at different times, so it's not 6 weeks of this, 6 weeks of that. Maybe it's a week of this or a week of that, we're mixing it up. Maybe it's a day of this, then a day of that, it's just kind of mixing it up, but again, very planned, so that come day one of training camp or in season, that whatever sport you're engaged in, that they're ready to go. High school athletes, probably three things that come to my mind would be obviously listen to your coaches and train the way that they recommend. Just because somebody on your team says, hey, I've done this, so-and-so told me that, they might not be on track. And so you can usually look to your coach or your strength coach or somebody like that to lead you on the right path. But train right. You can train as much as you want, but if you're training wrong, it's not going to get you anywhere. I think it's just as important to watch what you eat. If you really want to perform your best as a soccer player or in any other sport, we spend so much time thinking about the physical aspect of, am I in soccer playing shape? Am I developing these skills appropriately? But just as much time and effort should be spent on how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, things like that to really get you to a peak level. And then the third thing, which is very, very important for high school athletes, is get enough sleep. If they're not sleeping enough, they're not recovering, could lead to overtraining. Lack of sleep leads to a lot of issues, especially when we're talking about performance. So eat right, train right, sleep right. Like that.